Chapter 18. And the Lord appeared to him in the vale of Mamre, as he was sitting at the door of his tent in the very heat of the day. And when he had lifted up his eyes, there appeared to him 3 men standing near him. And as soon as he saw them, he ran to meet them from the door of his tent, and adored down to the ground. And he said, Lord, if I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away from thy servant. But I will fetch a little water, and wash your feet, and rest ye under the tree. And I will send a morsel of bread, and strengthen ye your heart. Afterwards you shall pass on, for therefore are you come aside to your servant. And they said, Do as thou hast spoken. Abraham made haste into the tent to Sarah, and said to her, Make haste, temper together 3 measures of flour, and make cakes upon the hearth. And he himself ran into the herd, and took from thence a calf very tender and very good, and gave it to a young man, who made haste and boiled it. He took also butter and milk, and the calf which he had boiled, and set before them. But he stood by them under the tree. And when they had eaten, they said to him, Where is Sarah thy wife? He answered, Lo, she is in the tent. And he said to him, I will return and come to thee at this time. Life accompanying, and Sarah thy wife shall have a son. Which when Sarah heard, she laughed behind the door of the tent. Now they were both old, and far advanced in years, and he had ceased to be with Sarah, after the manner of women. And she laughed secretly, saying, After I am grown old, and my Lord is an old man, shall I give myself to pleasure? And the Lord said to Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I, who am an old woman, bear a child indeed? Is there anything hard to God? According to appointment, I will return to thee at this same time. Life accompanying, and Sarah shall have a son. Sarah denied, saying, I did not laugh, for she was afraid. But the Lord said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And when the men rose up from thence, they turned their eyes toward Sodom, and Abraham walked with them, bringing them on the way. And the Lord said, Can I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Seeing he shall become a great and mighty nation, and in him all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. For I know that he will command his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord, and do judgment and justice, that for Abraham's sake the Lord may bring to effort all the things he has spoken unto him. And the Lord said, The cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is multiplied, and their sin is become exceedingly grievous. I will go down and see whether they have done according to the cry that is come to me, or whether it be not so, that I may know. And they turned themselves from thence, and went their way to Sodom. But Abraham as yet stood before the Lord. And drawing nigh, he said, Wilt thou destroy the just with the wicked? If there be 50 just men in the city, shall they perish withal? And wilt thou not spare that place for the sake of the 50 just, if they be therein? Far be it from thee to do this thing, and to slay the just with the wicked, and for the just to be in the like case as the wicked. This is not beseeming thee. Thou who judges all of the earth, will not make this judgment. And the Lord said to him, If I find in Sodom 50 just within the city, I will spare the whole city for their sake. And Abraham answered and said, Seeing I have once begun, I will speak to my Lord, whereas I am dust and ashes. But if there be 5 less than 50 just persons, wilt thou for 5 and 40 destroy the whole city? And he said, I will not destroy it, if I find 5 and 40. And again he said to him, But if 40 be found there, what wilt thou do? He said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 40. Lord, saith he, be not angry, I beseech thee, if I speak. What if 30 shall be found there? He answered, I will not do it, if I find 30 there. Seeing, saith he, I have once begun, I will speak to my Lord. What if 20 be found there? He said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 20. I beseech thee, saith he, Be not angry, Lord, if I speak yet once more. What if 10 should be found there? And he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 10. And the Lord departed after he had left, speaking to Abraham. And Abraham returned to his place. Chapter 19. And the two angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of the city. And seeing them, he rose up and went to meet them, and worshipped, prostrate to the ground, and said, I beseech you, my lords, turn into the house of your servant, and lodge there. Wash your feet, and in the morning you shall go on your way. And they said, No, but we will abide in the street. He pressed them very much to turn in unto him. And when they were come in to his house, he made them a feast, and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. But before they went to bed, the men of the city beset the house, both young and old, all the people together. And they called Lot and said to him, Where are the men that came into thee at night? Bring them out hither, that we may know them. Lot went out to them and shut the door after him, and said, Do not so, I beseech you, my brethren, do not commit this evil. I have 2 daughters, who as yet have not known man. I will bring them out to you, and abuse you them as it shall please you, so that you do no evil to these men, because they are come in under the shadow of my roof. But they said, Get thee back hither. And again thou camest in, said they, as a stranger. Was it to be a judge? Therefore we will afflict thee more than them. And they pressed very violently upon Lot, and they were even at the point of breaking open the doors. And behold, the men who put out their land, and drew in Lot unto them, and shut the door. And them that were without, they struck the blindness from the least to the greatest, so that they could not find the door. And they said to Lot, Hast thou here any of thine son-in-law, or sons, or daughters? All that are thine, bring them out of this city. For we will destroy this place, because their cry is grown loud before the Lord, who had sent us to destroy them. So Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law that were to have his daughters, and said, Arise, get you out of this place, because the Lord will destroy this city. And he seemed to them to speak as if it were in jest. And when it was morning, the angels pressed him, saying, Arise, take thy wife and the 2 daughters which thou hast left, thou also perish in the wickedness of the city, and the hand of his wife and of his 2 daughters, because the Lord spared him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. And there they spoke to him, saying, Save thy life, look not back, neither stay thou in all the country about, but save thyself in the mountain, lest thou also be consumed. And Lot said to them, I beseech thee, my Lord, because thy servant hath found grace before thee, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast shewn to me. In saving my life, I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil seize me and I die. There is this city here at hand, to which I may flee. It is a little one, and I shall be saved in it. It is not a little one, and my soul shall live. And he said to him, Behold, also in this, I have heard thy prayers, not to destroy the city for which thou hast spoken. Make haste and be saved there. I cannot do anything till thou go in thither. Therefore the name of that city was called Segor. The sun was risen upon the earth, and Lot entered into Segor. And the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he destroyed these cities and all the country about, all the inhabitants of the city, and all things that spring from the earth. And his wife looking behind her was turned into a statue of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning, and in the place where he had stood before the Lord, he took toward Sodom and Gomorrah and the whole land of that country, and he saw the ashes rise up from the earth as the smoke of a furnace. Now when God destroyed the cities of that country, remembering Abraham, he delivered Lot out of the destruction of the cities wherein he had dwelt. And Lot went up out of Segor and abode in the mountain, and his daughters with him, for he was afraid to stay in Segor. He dwelt in the cave, he and his 2 daughters with him. And the elder said to the younger, Our father is old, and there is no man left on the earth to come in unto us after the manner of the whole earth. Come, let us make him drunk with wine, and let us lie with him, that we may preserve the seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night. And the elder went in and lay with her father. But he perceived not neither when his daughter lay down, nor when she rose up. And the next day the elder said to the younger, Behold, I lay last night with my father. Let us make him drink wine also tonight, and thou shalt lie with him, that he may save seed of our father. And thou shalt lie with him, that we may save seed of our father. They made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and lay with him. And neither then did he perceive when she lay down, nor when she rose up. So the 2 daughters of Lot were with child by their father, and the elder bore a son, and she called his name Moab. He is the father of the Moabites until this day. The younger also bore a son, and she called his name Ammon. That is the son of my people. He is the father of the Ammonites until this day.